This is Pure Rock, KNAC.
All right, Anthony White, Generation Landslide. How the hell are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am all right. I feel like we should know each other, but I don't think our paths have ever crossed.
Yeah, that's a little surprising too. Me living in Los Angeles for over 10 years during all the heyday times, you know.
You have some ancient LA history, right?
I do. Yes.
All right. And it involves, I don't know, the whiskey and the Sunset Strip and stuff.
It involves all of that. Moving from Las Vegas to Los Angeles at 21 years old.
Holy cow. So you were a Vegas kid that went to LA.
That's correct.
Which is crazy because everybody from LA ended up in Vegas after the scene kind of fell apart, right?
It reversed in the last, maybe 15, 20 years, maybe?
About right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you hit the ground in LA?
I believe it was, now I'm trying to remember when it was, 1985.
Oh, damn. All right.
I was turning 21, and basically it was do or die. Either you try to go to Los Angeles and try to become something of yourself, or sit in Las Vegas, and the rest, you know.
Right on. So what were you doing in LA at that time? Because let's see, KNAC came on the radio in '86. So I know you had some connection with Mark Slaughter at some point, but that might have been further down the road. What were you doing in LA in the mid to late '80s?
The thing with Mark Slaughter was before I moved there.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow.
And I had a band called Excursion all through high school and a little bit after high school. And right before I turned 21, I decided I had gotten an offer from a band that lived in the, I hope I'm remembering this properly, Inland Empire.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So that would be Ontario.
That'd be Ontario, Redlands, San Bernardino.
Right.
Yep.
So they were looking for a drummer, and I auditioned, and so I moved to Ontario. Long story short, it took me probably 3 years to work my way up. So I tried the first band for a year, didn't think it was going to get a deal. I moved on to another band that was closer to Hollywood. So then the second one had a manager and had all these offers and everything, and it just kind of slipped through our fingers. And at that point, I was already out in Hollywood. So I figured, well, I'm not coming back home to Las Vegas. I'll just stay out there. And lucky enough, I ran into Mark Ferrari, who was leaving Keel at the time, and he was auditioning drummers. So I was lucky enough to get into that. And yeah, so at that point, you're talking now 87 and then 88. Now things are really starting to happen out there in Los Angeles. So there was no way I was coming back. So yeah.
Right. So wait, so you were in Keel for a minute? Do I get that right?
No, I was in Cold Sweat.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Right.
So I
originally started as Ferrari after he had left Keel. Correct.
Okay. All right. Because it's such a small town, really, when it comes down to it. Because you mentioned Cold Sweat, and I kind of know Chris McLernan.
Correct.
Were you in the band when Chris was in it?
Yep, I got him actually into the band.
Oh, no kidding.
We had a different bass player, and he actually was a guitar player, and I had known him. And I told him that we might be looking for a bass player. Would you be interested in switching from guitar to bass? And he said, sure, I'll try it. And sure enough, we rehearsed together for a couple of weeks, just bass and drums. And he got the audition and became a member, and that's that. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's crazy. So Chris is now, he's a buddy of mine through Jack Trash, who used to drive the van for KNAC and ended up being a KNAC DJ. So it's so funny how this all ties together, and here we are a couple of decades later, still doing the thing.
It is funny, actually, because I think about a week ago, I did a interview on their podcast, and I had met Jack, I believe, for the first time, and he remembered introducing Cold Sweat at the Palace, I think, when we opened up for the Bullet Boys.
Oh, no. Whoa. Wow.
And KNAC DJ, and I said, obviously KNAC goes all the way back. All of us listened to that. So yeah, it was cool to meet him.
All
so
right.
that was
Well, that's crazy because it's so it's entertaining for me to hear from somebody that was in Vegas that went to LA during the scene, because I was at KNAC when it started and I got fired for being difficult. And almost got a job at Comp. So I almost went to Vegas after that. It took me 30 years to end up back in Vegas, and now I'm in town. And so you're still in town, and Generation Landslide is, I don't know, officially a Vegas band?
Yeah, if you want to call it that. I mean, I'm not sure if that's really the case, because we're not really into the scene. There's not really a big scene, and we've played some shows around here, but we've also played shows in LA and in Arizona and Maryland, and so we're just, I don't know.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that, because I don't feel like Vegas has a scene. I think it's trying really hard, but
Right.
Vamped gave it a good run, but couldn't make it work financially. I know there's a lot of fans of hard rock and heavy metal in this town, but it just seems like it doesn't seem to really get any footing.
Right. It's very, very tough. It's become very tough. When I was growing up, it was a great scene. I mean, early 80s, mid 80s, and, even through some of the 90s and everything. I have a lot of friends who are in bands that I've known or played with, and it was a great scene. And for some reason, I don't know if the hotels/casinos have changed a lot of that, and everybody's just looking for, a lounge act I honestly, I really don't know what happened to the scene here. I really don't.
But I know there's a lot of rockers in this town, man. There's no doubt.
There's a lot of good musicians. There's a lot of bands, good bands. Unfortunately, it's tough to be heard or, being paired up with other bands locally. They want the quick fix. Like, say, if a Great White or a Slaughter comes into the Golden Nugget, you can't open for that. You can't have local bands help out national bands, because they don't want that. They want the national band in and out, back in the casino, and you're done.
All right, so Generation Landslide, named after an Alice Cooper song.
Correct.
I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. I think I was in, I want to say 6th grade, and I brought my cassette player to school, and we got to play music during lunch, and I played Welcome to My Nightmare during lunch break, and I think I got in trouble, as I recall. Alice Cooper, clearly huge. What was Alice Cooper's inspiration to you, and how did the band end up being called Generation Landslide?
I did the same thing that you did. Way back when, school, Welcome to My Nightmare, Goes to Hell. I was a big Alice Cooper fan, and a funny little story is that I was going to see him here in Vegas, and I believe it was 79. And unfortunately, I was out of town back in New York visiting relatives, and it just so happened I ended up getting to see Rush instead of Alice Cooper.
Damn.
So I saw Rush. Yeah, so I saw Rush on the Hemispheres tour, and at the same time, a friend of mine, what we would do is we would go to any concert and we would get our tour program and we would get our T-shirt. And I told a friend of mine, I said, look, I'm going to see Rush. If you can get Alice Cooper, because it was the same week that I was gone. So we switched, we traded or gave each other T-shirts and programs, but I was not able to see Alice Cooper until several years later. But to answer your question, I just loved the name. I've always loved the name. It's a great album track. And I feel that society and music has a generation landslide. Every decade, every type of music, anything that's happening, there's always some kind of a decadence going on. And I just thought it's just such a great, strong, powerful name,
Do you kind of feel the generation landslide now? I do now, dealing with the Z kids. I want to love them, but damn, I don't want to be a cranky old man. But dude,
Right.
right? Do you feel that?
I do feel that. I absolutely feel that. And the only thing that I say to that is I keep trying to encourage younger people to take a chance. It's okay. When we were all growing up, nobody knew about, Aerosmith and Kiss and all these, all the great music. You had to pass the word on from friends and from, family members or people older than you and stuff. It's the same thing as now. Any of those kids, don't be so, straight to where, oh, this is all I listen to and this is all I like, because there's a lot of great music that I think younger people are missing.
Well, yeah, it was. I was the first kid in my family, but I know a lot of people that were brought into this from older brothers and sisters. Like this is Led Zeppelin, and that's how they were brought into it. Or I listened to the radio, and that's that brought me into it. And
Right.
that's how you kind of got brought into the fold.
Right. First, it was AM. I'll never forget that. It was AM and it was mid 70s. And then all of a sudden, Album Rock FM came out. And the next thing you know, it was just great. I mean, I loved it here in Las Vegas then. But I also happened to live on a street in a neighborhood where I had older guys to the left, to the right of me, and across the street. And so I was just this young kid, and they turn around and go, "Hey, have you heard this new album, Thin Lizzy Jailbreak?" No. "Hey, have you heard this album, from a new band called The Runaways?" No.
Right.
I mean, it was just one after another. And so for like the first 4 years, from like probably 75 to 79, that's all I did was just take in everything from Ted Nugent to Led Zeppelin to Grand Funk to everything I could think of. So it really helped me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's the roots of the thing. And
Right.
and for me, I find it, I've been in Vegas for 20 years now, which is pretty good. I think that's a base level
Sure.
for saying that you're Vegas familiar. And I was looking at a promo picture. You guys did a promo picture. Is that the Charleston Railroad Bridge that you did?
It is.
All right. Because
It is.
that's a famous spot.
Yes, but nobody knows it unless you live here in Las Vegas or have lived here. So that has been around for a long, long time. And that area, and then there's another underpass bridge that's on Charleston that when we were all growing up, they would flood. And I always thought, how cool it would be, Alice Cooper type name, and the name of the first record was called Ruling the Street Scene. So it's a lyric from Generation Landslide, the song. And I thought, how cool would it be to have the band underneath I just came up with this whole crazy idea to bring old style, old school back to modern people.
So Generation Landslide, you've recorded this new record, and you've done some time, you're working in Vegas, so you do some tribute shows. You've been in like a Kiss tribute band as well?
Correct. I was. This was about 30 something years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. When Cold Sweat decided to take hiatus, it was me and Chris McClernand, and it was Tommy Thayer and Jamie St. James of Black and Blue. We decided to form one of the very first Kiss tributes. So this is going back like to 1991, 92, and through those years there. So
all right.
I ended up doing that way back when.
Well, now, what is that like? Because Kiss is notoriously particular about their name brand and stuff. So you guys were all fully authorized and good to go on that?
On the record, we weren't. But off the record, we were. Back then, we had to go along with everything that was happening and going on. But we used to see Gene and Paul. They've been to a few shows. I mean, I have a picture that's like this classic picture of me backstage before we're going on, and Paul Stanley's putting on my lipstick. I mean, it's just one of those, iconic moments in my life or career.
I bet, yeah.
That'll never go away. But, and they gave us ideas. and thoughts and different tips and everything, but they were not allowed to necessarily say, hey, you're endorsed by the official Kiss band and stuff, because, at that time they were in between no makeup and doing the reunion. If everybody remembers correctly, they did those, what were those shows? Those acoustic shows, those, and the name escapes me, but they had a title for it that they did where they had a tribute band, and then they came out and they played, and they sold all their merchandise, and you could see all their outfits and all the different stuff. The conventions.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So we did some of those, but we couldn't do them all because they said it just isn't fair. We got to get other bands and other people to, go along with it and stuff. And then they put the makeup on probably a year or so after that again.
Right, and went back out and did it again. Well, you gotta you go where you fish where the fish are, right?
Right. And the thing is about that is that we did it because we wanted to. We wanted to have fun. We wanted to show the world, hey, we're big Kiss fans, just like everybody else. Now, we weren't out to make a bunch of money and do all the stuff that everybody's doing now with tribute bands.
Right.
So there was no measuring stick back then. We just felt it. We played it. They enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. And that was it. That's really all it was. There was no other reason to do it.
Right. Do you personally, like if they asked you tomorrow to play the Kiss Landlocked in Las Vegas show, would you show up?
Absolutely not. My Kiss days, or my, putting makeup on and doing all that other stuff, those are long, long gone. But it's funny. There's a picture in a magazine of me with the makeup and Paul without the makeup, and we're standing at KNAC. There's the big KNAC banner background. Yeah, yeah. Wow. I always remembered that. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, no, but I get that. I mean, I was a Rocky Horror kid for years, and so I don't think I'll do it for Halloween, but that's about it, I think.
Right. And the thing is I always felt that once I did it and I didn't feel it anymore, I didn't want to do it again. I never put it back on because I just felt that it's just silly now because I'm past that stage of my life when I did it when I was younger.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Well, it's cool as hell. We're playing the new song, Running Out of Time, which is really a great song. And I think it kind of speaks to where we are in the world right now. I mean, am I getting that vibe correctly?
Yep. You are absolutely correct. And I think that's why Ron Keel at RFK Media and the band decided to pick that one as the first single. That's to introduce everybody to the band, but also at the same time, it connects to the concept of the album, connects to the cover, everything about it. And today's society is, hey, let's face it, let's be careful. You never know what you wish for. You might get it. So,
yeah, I think we all feel really weird about how things are these days, I think.
But the lyrical content is totally different than the vibe the song gives off. It's put in your car and drive down the highway and just rock to it and have fun and everything to it. But then when you really dig into the lyrics, you go, wow, this is pretty deep about this.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, you hear the tune and it sends me right back to 1980 something. And I'm like, yeah, I'm there. And then, yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So, hey, how do you know? Well, okay, Cold Sweat, Ron Keel. I kind of get how that came together.
Right.
How did that rekindle to get you on the label and that relationship?
When Cold Sweat plays shows now, so we started playing big shows again ever since 2020. We played Monsters of Rock Cruise. We played Monsters on the Mountain. We played M3. We've done several festivals and different things. And during that time, we would either play with Keel or with Ron Keel's band or Aaron Fisher, who's another one of Ron's associates who at the label would like tour manage for Cold Sweat. So it just one thing just rekindled after another. And it just came up that I have a new original band. Would you be interested in listening? And they said, sure. And we're all family. And they really liked the material. Said, yeah, let's do this. And I was so excited and so happy. I said, yeah, because I really feel this second record is really, really strong. So I'm glad that they're the ones who are taking care of it.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and I appreciate Ron for kind of being a champion of this form of music and continuing to promote it and hopefully bring it into and so I guess that's my next question. I feel like there's an interest from the younger kids these days about this form of music because you don't hear it all the time. I don't think it pops up in their algorithm all that much. So right. I think when it does, I think they hear it possibly, and it's new to them. Right. Is there a future for this style of music for the kids today? I hope.
I really hope. And there are some young people that have said that they like the songs, they like the record, they like the band and everything. I just, think more people, need to just spread it like wildfire. And I think it'll pick up and it'll catch on. And I'm not trying anything new, but I'm just bringing something old with a modern way of doing it. That's all I'm trying to do is just, make people aware. This is an old style of music that you people, it's almost long and forgotten,
It has good bones, as they would say, right?
Correct. And that's all I tried to do is just put out something that I felt so strong about that did have good bones, that is reminiscent of old 70s, early 80s. And you can sit and go, yeah, feel happy, feel good again. Let's do this. That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah, I think that that's something everybody could use as a little distraction these days, probably, right?
Absolutely, I agree.
It's a pleasure to talk to you. Is there an idea for another single off the album, or is it too soon to tell, or what?
No, it's the choice, I do believe. It's either going to be Are You Ready or Dirty Little Blonde.
Okay.
But I'm not totally sure what route we want to go just yet. Looking at another video person, because we put a video out of Running Out of Time. I want to do another video for one of the other two I just mentioned. So hopefully in the next couple, 2-3 months.
Anthony White from Generation Landslide, thanks for being on, man. And a pleasure to talk to you. I'm kind of astounded that we haven't spoken before, but here we are.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. Hopefully I'll talk to you soon.
Problems would disappear, 'cause the world is running out of time. Pure Rock. KNAC.